Hello, Omri.
Hello.
It's finally happening.
It's finally happening.
Fucking hell. Thank you for helping me set up my podcast.
Yeah.
Welcome to Time for Us. To anyone listening, Omri is an Israeli DJ and producer who is visiting us in South Africa.
True.
And I thought that maybe we could kick this podcast off with telling us why SA, how you ended up here.
Oof. This is a long story, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, it began this year, April. I came to Africa Burn.
Okay.
Just random idea of mine to come. And then during the festival, I met amazing people who later on booked me to play in Pangaea Festival.
Okay.
And basically, this is why I'm here today.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
And have you been loving it?
Here?
Yes.
Amazing, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I stayed for a month and a half after the festival, so I think...
Oh, from Pangaea now?
Yeah.
Jeepers, is that how long it's been since Pangaea?
Yeah, like a month and, yeah.
Crisis.
A month and a half.
And
went
how?
fast, eh?
Yeah, it went so fast. I feel like it went by in the blink of an eye. And how do you feel like the local scene here differs in terms of your experience as a DJ, like to other international crowds?
Well, they're very active and nice.
Okay.
Yeah, I love it.
What do you mean by active?
Like, they are in the party. They're not, like, talking shit or, like, going around. They're, like, in the dance floor. They're experiencing the music. They're in the moment.
Yeah.
I love it. It's, like, happening.
Do you feel like you feed off of that energy as a DJ or as a performer?
Yeah, well, I believe that I move like with the energy of the crowd, you know what I mean? So it's very important to have this kind of people.
What do you mean by move with the energy of the crowd?
Like, it's motivate me during the set.
Okay.
It's like giving me the energies to...
Yes.
It's moving me like left or right. If it's like the crowd is numb, let's say, so obviously I'll be numb as well. But here it's like they're very on it.
They're on it.
Yeah.
And like, are you as plugged into that like energetic field that you are quite spontaneous in your sets? Like, if you're feeling a certain energy, do you feel like it could take you in one direction or another? And that kind of thing?
Definitely. It's every set is changing due to the energy of the crowd, It's like I don't have one thing that I'm going. Obviously the music is my music and it's the same in different way.
Yes.
But yeah, it's changing
from
set to set.
I was researching you online before the podcast and I was just like trying to find out some stuff just so that I'm like trying to get some dirt. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
But
you won't find any.
Yeah, I haven't found any yet. And this article that I saw was, I think, just like a feature on you, and they were discussing how you found your sound and that it was kind of rooted in psytrance in some kind of a way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah. Well, actually, my electronic music period of life started in psytrance.
Okay.
I was 16, 17, something like that. Went to a psytrance party, did what I did, and I was amazed. Like, honestly, it blew my mind. And I already had like a background with making music, like live music, guitar, drums, stuff like that. So I was like, okay, what the fuck is happening? I need to dive into it. Went home, started to produce, did a psytrance project for 4 years almost. And then changed to OMRI.
How do you come home as a 16 or 17-year-old and figure out how to produce? Did you have people in your life that could help guide you?
No.
You were just like, I'm figuring it out.
Definitely not. We were like 16 years old, you know, like a bunch of kids, like a group of kids that went to like a psytrance party, and we had nothing to do with the scene. Like,
okay.
It's like totally disconnected.
Yeah.
I just went home and opened YouTube, like use the tools that I had, how to make psytrance music like that,
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That is
Well,
really
looking
amazing.
back, it's like, yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like,
Yeah. I feel like people, it's so easy for people to make excuses as to why, like, they're not ready to start, or how everything needs to be a little bit like perfectly aligned in order for them to have the courage to start doing something. So I think it's really impressive that you just threw yourself into it head first.
yeah, well, I think also the age that I was helping me a lot, because I didn't had a lot on my mind, didn't had to work or stuff like that, so I had a lot of free time to really dive into it and, like, study and do it by myself. I didn't need to pay rent or to, get a second job or
So
whatever.
based on that, are you saying that, okay, so we went to a trance party, we fell in love with the idea. Was it the music? Was it just the vibes that you fell in love with?
Wow, this is the first time I've been asked, actually.
Oh, really?
I think it was everything, obviously, but it was mostly the music. Like it made me feel a lot of stuff that I didn't felt before. Like it took me to the new interesting places. I'll call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oopsie.
Oopsie, my
Who
bad.
could it be?
Sorry, manager.
Oh, no worries. It's okay.
Manager.
Manager, she's allowed to call.
Yeah.
It's okay.
But I'll mute it and put it on the side. My
Cool. No worries. Don't worry. I actually, yeah, well, mine's on silent, thank God. Imagine mine was ringing while it's recording. That would be a problem. Okay, cool. That's really, really, really fascinating. So, this is what I was going to actually ask you, because you mentioned that you went to this trance party, you fell in love with everything that was there. You're quite young. You come home with this ambition to figure this shit out, and you start doing it. So have you always had music as your livelihood? Did you ever have to have another kind of job?
No, actually, no. I had only one job in my life, just before I went to that Psytrance festival, actually.
Really?
And I was cooking. I was a cook.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, in like an Asian restaurant.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And yeah, I don't know. I've been working there for, I don't know, like 3 months, something like that. And then I was like, fuck that shit, bro. I'm making music.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. And ever since then, like 2 years, maybe a year and a half later, I started to perform and, like getting paid, basically. So let's say it was around 18, 17. So it's about the time you go to work, you know what I mean? For the first time, like, have like a real job. So this was my...
So how many years does that make you, like, having been in the industry for now?
Like 10 years almost, yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's like...
2 scenes, but yeah, 10 years.
Yeah. I feel like if you follow anyone or any kind of thought leader that has any kind of opinion on being brilliant at something or being truly successful, it does just come down to sheer hours and sheer dedication.
Definitely.
And 10 years is a long time, hey?
Yeah, it's a long time.
It's a really long time.
Yeah.
And your sound is so unique. It's like, I've never heard
Thank
anything
you.
like it before.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. So how did you
It's
come
nice
to
to
that?
know. Every time it's surprising me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like, thank you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Have you not? I'm sure you must have heard that a lot in your trip here now, though.
Yes, I did, but still, every time it's like, do you know my, like, you? Yeah, how do you know my music? It's funny. I don't know. Still weird.
Because you're humble, I guess.
I don't know. I think I just don't, I honestly, I don't understand.
Yeah.
Like one time I was in Walmart in the States.
Okay.
And some guy came to me and he was like, is there a chance you're OMRI dot? And I'm like, yeah.
Wild.
He's like, what are you doing here? And I'm like, how the fuck do you know me, man? Like, that was wild.
Yes.
Like, it blew my mind. And yeah, so every time it surprised me. Yeah, it's interesting.
Do you find that having that recognition changes the way that you create? Because is there more pressure? Does it build? And do you ever feel like it could interfere with the way that you make music or put it out there?
I feel like there's, I can agree in a way, like, because once you let's say make a good track with, you know, good track, but like that is working successfully, you know, that's like bombing out or whatever, then it feels like you have the pressure to make more stuff like that, you know, to keep pushing you forward. But I'm not letting it affect me. I'm still doing what I believe in. And but I totally understand your question, and yes, there is like something floating around the artistic you know, decisions with the progress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've just recently gotten my hands on the book The Creative Act by Rick Rubin. I don't know if you like, you know, heard of him. He's this like incredible producer. He's produced, well, more like, I guess, pop. Also, though, like the Red Hot Chili Peppers, he's produced incredible artists, international artists. And he has created, I guess, a guideline or some kind of a textbook that for people to use, and as a creative himself. And he also kind of touches on what you've just said now, and how when he's noticed with artists that he's worked with, when they become successful off of a certain type of sound, that they almost just keep trying to recreate it. But the beauty lies in like surprising yourself.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. I see it many places that a lot of artists in like many genres, you know, like not they go back into the same patterns. And honestly, I have to say, it's like, obviously you see it's working in a way, but for me it's a bit I don't know, like,
so how do you,
I like to push myself to the edge every project, you know, to take it to a different place.
what does that look like for you though? Like, do you drive yourself insane sometimes? Like,
Definitely.
really?
Yes.
Okay,
Definitely.
tell me more.
I don't know, I'm like, fuck, I hate it. Like a lot of times, a lot of times I'm getting to a place, I'm like, like, why can't I do it like simple?
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And but at the end point when you see the full creation, you're like, that's something.
How do you know when something's ready to be released?
I think you just know.
Really?
Yeah, it's either I think you're sick of it in a way, you're like, fuck, that's it, I'm done with this track.
Get it out of my sight.
Yeah, like, fuck, that's it. This is the last click.
Yes.
It's either that or like that you've really complete with it, you know.
Yes.
Like, okay, that like. Oof.
And how did you come up with your unique, like, musical identity?
I don't think it's something that you can. Well, you can definitely try to find something, but I think it takes time, and it comes by itself. You know what I mean?
Just like experimenting.
Yeah, from influences, from things you've been through, from places you went, and you know, it's like from experiences that you had, especially in the psychedelic part of things, you know, where I mostly like to talk. So yeah, I believe that every little thing built me to the place that I am. I'm not sure if it's like one thing that you work on to have this sound, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's interesting because would you say, I mean, I think you've been told enough times now as well, like you've had the validation of being told that you have something unique, obviously. Like what you create stands out above the rest. But did you ever arrive to that awareness on your own? Were you like, fuck, I've created something that I've never heard before and been like, shit, this is really interesting? Or do you feel like you just created the stuff and then other people were like, fuck, we've never heard this before?
No, I feel like I make like, yeah, definitely I feel like I'm making something that is off the norma.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you think your sound will evolve as you evolve as a person?
Definitely. I think everything evolves.
Yeah,
you know, in life.
Has
you know,
to.
it's like the nature of movement. Yeah.
Nature of our existence. Like the only thing that's constant is change, as they say.
That's true.
So another question I have here for you is, how long does it take you to develop a track? And like, what is your process?
Well, it depends. This is like, it's like if I compare it to a painting, which is something more physical that I can talk, then it's like I ask a painter, like, where do you start your painting from? You know what I mean? The grass, the eye, the sun. It depends on the painting, and it depends on like my mood and my like what I feel and what is coming from the stomach. So it's very different. I can have sometimes that the ideas are like flowing, and so like tak 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 tak. I write all the channels, and then you take like 3 or 4 days to arrange it, and in a way, you know what I mean. And then it's like a quick process. And I have projects that I'm like, as we said earlier, that I'm like losing it and like fuck it, you know, and I'm throwing it, and then 2 years later I'm like, oh, what is that project? I forget about it, and I see there's like a nice idea, so I'm going with it again, you know. So it's
How often do you revisit old half finished projects?
not often, but but every time that I do it, I'm like, whew, I used to think nicer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like the way I did the music was not obviously as professional as I do it today, as I'm making it today. But I love the new ideas. You know what I mean?
From where you are now, or from when you reflect back on your old stuff?
Yeah, when I reflect back on my old stuff, I'm like,
okay.
that was like very fresh, you know, because this was without any influence of any scene. I came from a new place, and the raw idea of the old tracks, like sometimes I feel like, this is like
impressed. You're like,
yeah, it's like I
Wow.
don't think like that today. Why don't I think like that today?
Yeah, that
I
is
need to-
interesting.
yeah.
Are you trying to figure out the answer to that question?
Yeah, and I'm trying to keep that in mind, to like go back to the first OMRI. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To have this first psytrance OMRI always in the back of my head, you know, to don't lose this OMRI.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much time do you spend on the psytrance scene?
Now I don't spend like time at all, actually. But I spent a lot of time. Yeah, I honestly was digging this thing in and out for I don't know how long. Basically like you know, it's my roots. I grew up on it. Like
Yeah.
everything started from there. So
Do you have siblings?
yeah, I have siblings.
Really?
Yeah,
Where do you fit into the equation?
I'm the youngest.
Of how many?
We're 4.
Okay.
Yeah, my sister is the oldest.
Okay.
Then 2 brothers
Okay.
and me.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
And my older brother, he used to, when I was like growing up, you know, as a child, he used to listen to drum and bass, The Prodigy and stuff like that, you know. So I had like some of like electronic music in the house in a way, but not very psytrance. I kind of like, maybe he had like a psytrance phase, but I kind of like discovered psytrance on my own, and it was a thing, yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's where I was going with that question is, are you an anomaly? Like, do you stand out amongst your siblings, or is everyone kind of musical or kind of inclined towards music?
My sister, she's a singer.
Okay.
Yeah, not professionally, but she has like an amazing voice.
Really?
Yeah. And my other brother loves to party. And the other brother is an architect, is an artist.
Okay.
He's like doing more physical art. I mean, like,
Yeah,
you know,
like tactile, like
Yeah.
actually building things.
yeah, and drawing and like
Yeah.
painting and stuff.
Are you creative like that at all yourself?
Yeah, I like to do some wood stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like, this is our family business.
Oh,
We
wow.
own a wood factory. We import wood and stuff like that.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm not working there, but you know, I grew up into this world basically. So I always have like a saved spot in the heart.
Is it like
for that.
carpentry, like building things with wood?
We don't do it as like, we don't provide it,
Okay.
but we do it because we love it, like
Okay.
to ourselves.
Okay.
Like I built my table, you know, and
Oh,
stuff
but
like
that's
that.
cool.
Yeah.
Yes, that's really gratifying.
Yeah.
And it's so practical.
Yeah, it's nice also to do like stuff with the hands.
Yes.
With your hands, like especially me when I work with music, you know, it's like gentle stuff. And then I go, I need to grind a little bit.
It's
Like,
like hammer.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
nice. Sweat.
Shame.
Man up.
I had a boyfriend once. Shame. And I think he also decided that he wanted to build a table for some reason, but he has no experience in this whatsoever.
Yeah.
And yeah, I wish I could show you the image that I have in my mind of like this like lopsided fucking made with like shitty pine, like this like very bleached pine. And I just remember that he made it, and I think he gave it to me, and I had it in my bedroom for so long. Shame. I didn't let go of that thing. Bless. Okay. What does it feel like when you create music that resonates with people for you?
What, like, can you expand?
So
When I see it happening,
yes, I think yes, exactly. I would say when you see it happening.
like when I DJ my own music and I see the reaction, how does it make
that
me feel?
alchemy, yeah, that happens.
Amazing. Amazing. Yeah, it's like when I finish a good set, that I saw that people like dig it and felt it, and as I say, like the crowd here, that they are with me. I see that they are with me. They're looking me straight in the eye. They're listening. They're like, and I see that I'm affecting them in a way. Of course, it makes me feel full.
Do you find it to be quite a spiritual experience? Or is that am I
Yeah.
taking a leap in saying that?
No, it is like you take like, you handle a lot of stuff while you DJ, like a lot of emotions. It can go very south very quickly and can go very high very quickly as well. So it's like, it is a trip, you know what I mean, mentally.
What guides that emotional journey as a DJ? Like, could you help me understand better what influences that for you? Like you said, you're handling a lot of stuff. Like what goes to your head?
It can be everything. It can be literally everything. You are one in front of many people, and all the eyes are straight to you. So it can be either technical issues or a bad mix, in your opinion. It doesn't have to even, like, people can't even feel it. Like they can not feel it, and you're like, fuck, this was the wrong track, and now you feel like shit, and now you need to work on it and be happy again. And it's like, you know what I mean? And suddenly this, I don't know, dude or whatever, sticking the phone into your face with the, and then you need, it's like a lot of happening in the booth. Like it's all around you, you know what I mean? So sometimes you need to handle some shit with yourself while you're DJing.
Would you say that, I've heard Tully say this actually, that DJs are often quite introverted, because this is what I think she was describing and when we had our podcast together, because it's like you get to be at the party and be involved in the party, but you don't have to socialize. Do you feel the same way about that? Or do you find that you're also like, you have energy to connect with people on an everyday level as a person, as to who you are?
I feel like it's hard work. It's hard work sometimes, but as a producer, I really appreciate this interaction. You know, because what I'm doing it from the bottom of my heart. And when a person is coming and is like taking a moment to tell me what he thinks about what I gave to him or what I played to him, so I take this moment to listen to him and to embrace what, like, I enjoy it, of course. No, I disagree about that. Like, I enjoy the social experience of it. Yeah. Obviously, I'm not going, like, I'm playing on a busy schedule, so I will not have the power to party and, like, go wild, but I am more than welcome and want to get these comments and to interact with people, because I want to get the feedback, to the work that I do.
Yeah.
Like, it's nice, it's heartwarming, it's like it's motivating me to keep doing what I do.
Yes, I hear where you're coming from. I think I might just, because Charles, if you're listening to this, just now she feels like I've misrepresented her. I just want to clarify that I think what she was saying is that sometimes DJs aren't very outgoing people. Like sometimes they feel more comfortable behind the decks because they still kind of get to be in the scene, but they don't have to be like social. Do you know what I mean? So, but I don't think it's about like necessarily not wanting to engage with people. But yeah, anyway, let's just, I don't even know if I'm making sense. But thank you for your answer.
Yeah.
You answered.
Yeah.
You answered the question.
Yeah, I answered the question.
You answered the question.
Yeah,
yes, you
I
did. And
I love to interact with people.
Yes,
bottom line. I love people.
Yes, you answered the question, and I am talking shit about Tali. So,
Tali, we love you.
Yes.
You are the best.
That's so funny. Okay. Actually, on that note, so maybe we can also have like quite a candid conversation about this, because I feel as though most of the time when someone becomes a really successful DJ, maybe it's any kind of success, but I do think there's an element of this being a little bit more exacerbated when it comes to like a DJ for some reason, that there's a huge sense of people like idolize, the like DJs, like successful DJs. They're like literally like shit their pants. They're like, oh my God, it's you. Like, wow. It's like their minds are blown. They're awestruck. And they can treat people differently. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like they treat DJs differently. It's like, because I don't know why, like they're quite obsessed with them kind of thing. Do you think that that's warranted?
I think that I don't like the word DJs.
I'm sorry.
It's so like generalizing.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Sorry. I know. Do you feel like am I discrediting you by throwing the word DJ at you?
No.
I think obviously you
it's
are
just
different.
No, I'm not saying that I'm different.
Okay.
It's just that it's like I believe every individual has its own personality and wills and how much he wants to interact and engage, and you know what I mean. So to look at us as DJs, it's very like, you know what I mean.
It's impersonal.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's like very very individual. But remind me your question again.
My question was, do you think that it's warranted as to how people can idolize and treat people in the music scene who are I established differently?
So what I was about to say is is that I think those people, they go through something. Like me as an artist, I make something, I make music, I make a tune, and they hear it and they have this kind of like mental experience with it, for the bad or for the best, or if it's like touching them, and I don't know if she's like had this fight with her boyfriend and she's listening to my emotional track and she's crying and she's so people like they feel, so they want to see the artist behind what made them feel, the creation that made them feel something. You know what I mean? So I don't see it. It's like, like, oh my God, like it's coming from a positive way.
Okay.
Not like I affect them in a way, so they want to show it to me.
Yes. Or
they are happy to meet the person who made them feel that way.
Fair.
So.
Yeah. I think sometimes it can, and this is not in relation to you, but I think maybe in general, in an industry, or I guess in any qualification or any kind of position in life where you reach a level of success and notoriety, or like, you know, fame, like people know your name and stuff, that it can sometimes maybe warp the way that that individual presents themselves in the world. Like, I'm just saying, like, I have a friend who's dated like some like really big, huge DJ person, and I think that experience and like the way that that person manages their ego in that role and in that capacity, still doing the same thing that you're doing, creating like music and art that touches people. It's just interesting how...
This is what I say. It's very individual.
Yes, you are right.
You can't generalize. It's very like depends on the person.
Yeah.
You know, but if you ask me, in my perspective, all the big DJs, the one that rule the world, let's say, they are all nice and interactive. They're not dicks. Not even one of them. This is like, it's true. You see it. You see it. You see that they're not. Yeah.
Just ding.
Yeah. Like, you see it. You see it everywhere on social media, on the personal interaction. It's like they're not dicks. They're all the time smiling and they giving the time. Obviously, they're busy people and they're not gonna sit like after the set now have a coffee with the audience. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But of course, to not ignore.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, no.
Yeah.
It's like a big no for me.
Yeah. Maybe my question's coming from like a place of like, I don't know if I'm being very honest. Potentially like jealousy is the wrong word, but like that's the first word that's coming to mind. Like it's not, it doesn't feel nice coming out my mouth, but it's that feeling of like, maybe I'm like asking that question, or the question came to me because it's like, oh, well, like, are they even that cool? Do you know what I mean? So I guess I'm asking myself now the question as to why I would feel that way, and it is kind of like I don't know. Anyway, just psychoanalyzing myself.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Well, that's yours.
Doctor, you're like, this is not what we came to do. Let's get back to the
I
actual
feel like
conversation.
it's starting to be my show, you
Yeah.
know? Like, I'm treating you in a way.
This is the therapist's couch. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna be like, and how does that make you feel? Yeah. Okay. So what have been some of the biggest challenges for you in doing your current like DJing?
It's gonna sound funny, but this is the first thing that came onto my mind when you asked that, is to sleep in a different beds. This is, I have 5 slipped herniated discs.
No.
Yeah. So the hotel life, let's say, and
Yes.
like Airbnb life,
Yes.
not very appealing to me.
No.
No. So yeah, this is like a thing that, wow, fucks me every fucking time that I'm traveling. I hate it. So
Your
all of
quality
you
of sleep.
promoters that
Yeah.
hear it now, please have a firm bed.
Oh my God. Get OMRI a good bed, please.
Yeah, firm one, firm.
Firm. Yeah. So are you quite like, maybe we are all a little bit particular with what we like need when we go to sleep. Because like if I also hate it. Like even if we go traveling, Erin and I will go away for a weekend or something, and if the place that we're staying at has a cuck bed, we'd literally rather leave a day or two early than...
Yeah, it's hard.
It's horrible.
It's horrible, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's an interesting one. I didn't see that coming.
Like there's a lot of other stuff, a lot.
For
but
sure.
this is like the thing that came onto my mind, I told you.
Why, did you have a bad night's sleep last night?
No. Actually, it's cool where I am, but it's just like it hit me so many times that
Just like,
apparently it's sitting. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like
What,
the
it's
problem
sitting-
is
oh, it's
sitting
sitting
somewhere in my stomach.
You haven't worked through it yet.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you believe that you have a purpose in life?
Definitely. Do what I do. Otherwise, I wouldn't do it. I truly believe in that as well, you know?
How would you describe doing what you do?
I think this is like making music and affecting people. This is what I mean. And it's not just like making music and playing music as just get it out of me, you know? I really need to affect people, because I had some shows, like I have a lot of booking opportunities that I don't take because I know it's not the right environment or it's not the right place to have for the people to embrace really what I want to share with them. So, yeah.
Okay. And would you say that it's that what you do when you're creating your art, your music, you do it for yourself, or do you do it for the audience? When you're creating, do you think, okay, I'm doing this for you, or do you do it first and foremost to make yourself feel happy?
I think it's a little bit of both, because I'm like doing what I like, and then I'm like, yeah, they're gonna love it.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah, because the thought is changing. Once I love it, like I'm thinking about it when we speak. You know what I mean? It's not that I dive into like how I, like what I feel when I produce. You know, I just produce. But when I think about it, it's like, okay, this is cool. I love it. And then it changes to like, it's gonna kill the dance floor. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I think it's a little bit of both.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I've read a few things around how, I mean, it's obviously different. There's many different mediums of creating. You could be a writer or a painter, whatever it is. And I think that there's been traditionally a movement kind of around, you have to like create for someone else, like your creation like is a gift, like you have to do it for your audience, or who is your audience. That's kind of, at least in my experience in the creative like field, heard that like phrase always being thrown around. And then I've also heard, initially at the time, I think the people who were saying this were outliers, like it wasn't a common thing to say, but I think it's becoming more and more, I think like it makes perfect sense to me. And that's that you should create for yourself, and kind of exactly what you've just said. It's like, make something that you are so happy with, that you like so much you wouldn't change a single fucking thing about it. And then if you put it out into the world and no one else likes it, it's actually so fine because you love it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then if you put it out and everyone loves it, then that's great. That's a bonus.
Yeah, but I think here comes experience and practice, you know, to balance the things you love and the things they can relate to.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because to do what I love, it's gonna be like no one will understand it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, because I'm a nerd at the end. You know, I like to play with electronics, and like I can just do like all day long. You know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, but you need to balance all this fucking mess in your head into things that people can relate to. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
Yeah.
I do know what you mean. Wow, I would love to.
So I'm always doing what I love, but I'm also considerate of the how would I say it?
Like the way it can connect with people?
No, how much people can like, how capable of them to get in, you know, to receive. Because I know that I can receive a lot of stuff, you know, but most of the people can receive 1, 2, 3 channels. They hear one, you know what I mean? Like one idea at a time. So with time, you learn how to manage and, you know, like place the ideas in the right spots, not to go too wild.
That's super interesting.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you would ever one day release a track that was just
weird shit.
Just fucking whatever? You were like, this is
Well, it's like, I don't know if you ever dove into like electronic albums, like as a full album, but it's usually like a lot of times you have like 1, 2 first tracks, and the last one, let's say, that they can be just like pads. It's like no beat, you know, no nothing, just like the artist wanted to express himself, you know, like in another way, which is, so in an album, like, yeah, I believe that I will do it in the future, maybe even the near future.
Do you have any albums out, or are you working on one?
I have some EPs and remixes and singles, but no album yet.
Okay.
But I'm very keen of doing an album. Like I really want that. I think it takes time, and I don't want it to just be a collection of tracks. I want it to be a album. So
well, I'm excited for that. Looking forward to that. This is, I hope this doesn't offend you in me talking about Robbie Williams in the same topic of conversation as you. Do you know Robbie Williams?
yeah,
Obviously, like I love him. I'm obsessed with him.
yeah,
I've just recently watched his documentary on Netflix, and he basically, you know, he made that song Rude Box. I don't know if you know how the song goes. It's like a really, anyway, so it's the complete opposite of any other song he's ever made, and
Yeah.
it was something that he was like, this is the ultimate expression of where he's at. It's like edgy. If you listen to it now, it's actually super cool.
yeah,
At the time, though, everyone loved
Was.
him for a different sound.
yeah,
And then he released the song Rude Box, and he got ripped apart by like the audience, his audience, the media. He had like, it basically completely
Shame.
obliterated him. Yes. And he lost all his creative confidence to be daring. And then he just basically went straight back into like creating the stuff that he knew was safe,
yeah.
and has never, ever made anything different yet, which is quite interesting.
I can totally understand. I think in his level, when you get slaughtered hard. Shame.
Shame.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to hearing your weird song one
I
day.
hope you wouldn't slaughter me.
I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't, because I'd hear it and I'd know. I'd be like, oh my God, that's it. We spoke about this. Yay, it's finally out. Okay. I think that we're kind of nearing to the end of our party here, but I have a few more questions for you.
Yeah, sure.
And that is, it's a little bit random, but what do you think what do you think it takes to become a successful artist? It's one of them.
Disciplined.
Discipline.
Yeah, definitely. Like, you gotta fucking do everything every day, nonstop. No days off.
How long do you, okay, so tell me, what does your schedule look like? What is your example
I
of
don't know,
discipline?
it's changing a lot, but you need to do. You need to be and to do and to go out and to do stuff. And when I'm saying go out, I don't mean go out to the bar and have a crazy night and end up with a girl. No, definitely not. I mean, go out to the world and try to find like the connections that you need and to push yourself and like just go and do it, like whatever it takes. Nothing is wrong, you know what I mean? Every little step, every little thing that you do at the end, like help your your full project. That's it. So yeah, just do. Just consistency.
Consistency, hey?
Yeah.
It's a big one.
Just like, honestly, this is the only thing, because I remember, like, if I'm thinking of myself like 6 years ago, 8 years ago, and I was like, I don't know anyone. How would I know? How would I do it? You know, like, how can I play? I don't know. I remember the struggle. You know, I remember it. And you just go and you go again and you go again and you go to this place and that place, and you just, and time and consistency, and it's happening, you know. But if you give up and you're like slacking here, slacking there, you know, you don't go to this party, you get an invitation, you're like, I'm tired, you know. Moscow Man, my good friend, which I very admire, he told me, don't be the no guy. Never be the no guy. And he's right. And I listened to him, and I never said no. Like, never. Like, obviously, things that are bad for me, I would say no, you know, don't be, like kids, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, don't say yes to everything.
Yeah.
But, like, don't be this annoying person that says no all the time, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, interact, go explore, and, you know, eat the world every day. Do everything, if it's through social media or physically go in or taking shoots or coming to Danny to do a podcast or like everything, you know, like
Yeah.
everything is helping the goal,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah. I resonate with that very much.
Yeah.
And then another question I have for you is what would you say your 3 values are? You have to say 3 of them.
Never thought about it. I think honesty, positivity. It's hard to get 3. That's a tricky ending question,
I mean, it's not really. I feel like if you like,
because it's something you're not being asked on a daily basis, you know.
yeah, it's true. But it's interesting. I mean, it doesn't have to be what they stand for the rest of your life, but it is interesting. I think you know what you stand for generally.
Yeah, well, basically all the things that I said in the
You're like, listen to this podcast.
yeah,
No.
like honesty,
Positivity
and consistency.
and consistency.
Yeah, we can go
Yeah.
with
Okay, I like it. I like it. I like
Yeah.
it. Yeah, I think mine's also, honesty is definitely one of mine as well.
that. And
Without
like
a
breaking
doubt.
patterns also.
Mm.
You know, like go experience. Go experience. Just try some other stuff, you know, for a change. Just you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you can always do the same thing, but just don't.
Yeah. Do you mean that as in every aspect of
In
life?
every aspect.
Doesn't matter what the fuck it is.
Doesn't matter.
Just do something, spice it up.
Just yes, spice it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just spice it up.
I like that. And then in closing, I don't always ask the same questions at the end of the podcast, but
Yeah.
sometimes I try to. And one of them, or there's actually 3. One of them is, what is the thing that you're most grateful for?
Actually my career, like it's not my career as a career, is the gift that I've given that's given me the opportunity to live and to make, let's say, money and to, you know, have like a decent life from the things that I truly love and believe in. This is the thing that I'm grateful for. And obviously the ability to affect people in such a way.
Is there anything else up your sleeve that we should start rubbing our hands together in anticipation for?
Yeah, I'm doing my own label now. Like I'm working on it. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having
That's
me,
that.
Danny.
And that's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
That's a fucking wrap. Can you believe it?
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah. Thank you
was
for
so fun.
listening. Oh, good. I'm so glad you enjoyed
Yeah.
it. Yeah. It
So
went by
fun.
quickly. Hey, it always does.
Yeah.
I find. I'm just going to do my little closing thing, which is thank you so much for listening, everybody. If you enjoyed this episode of Time for Us, please will you follow me on Spotify and also share this podcast with the world. I hope that you are having an amazing day. Whatever time you're listening to this, lots of love. Bye.